Alright, guys. So, did we do this spoiler-free? Yeah. I said it was okay for people to kind of tell me where characters were, but other than that, we didn't really do anything that was spoiler-worthy of any kind. Alright, keyboard. It's okay, you can type. Alright, what's going on? One second. Oh, that's why. Hold on. It's not time to enter yet. It's not time to enter yet. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Alright. We need to change the alert around so that it's something else that doesn't say that it's raffle time until we do the exclamation point raffle. Alright, so. Yes, spoiler free. And I'll center all this stuff later. So, I enjoyed the music of this game. It was definitely above Shining Force's music, and I really enjoyed Shining Force's music. The only problem is there was a couple battle themes I didn't so much enjoy, particularly the boss themes, which I thought were the strong point of Shining Force. Some of my favorite themes, actually. I'm not going to say that it was perfect, but I really enjoyed the music, and there's a lot that I would actually listen to again. So I'll give it a 9. It's pretty much on par with what Shining Force was, but ever so slightly better. I just found that I liked more tracks of Shining Force for some reason. I don't know why, maybe it's just me, but... Alright, so graphics for the era. In this case, they did massive updates to what Shining Force was, so there was really good updates in that regard. It's not raffle time yet, we're almost there. I mean, it wasn't huge updates from Shining Force, but there were some major changes, and I liked how the characters looked and things like that, and the animations of the characters, although it was a little silly to see them shaking their heads back and forth, like wobbling and dancing and things like that. It was a little goofy, but I'll say it was around an 8 or 9 in that regard as well. So the story was good. The only problem that I had with the story is that it was so far in between the battles, and it just kind of made it frustrating. You would get little tidbits of like, oh hey, here's this guy, who the hell is that? Oh, battle time, okay, well, fight a battle, walk 2 screens over, fight another battle. So, it was just, the story was too drawn out and too far apart, and I lost track of it sometimes, and it became slightly annoying. I wanted more story than I did more battle and more levels and things like that. I cared less about the mechanics in this game than I did the actual storyline. So, I'm going to go with what I did with Shining Force in this regard, and said that if they maybe had less battles, and they actually kept the battles more orchestrated in these like unique areas, rather than just having a whole bunch of overworld battles, I would have enjoyed it much more. Alright, so the mechanics. The mechanics were solid, but like Shining Force, there's just so much that's not exactly intuitive about it. You can't, there's no real understanding of it. You can't just, like, play the game and understand everything. Maybe if you played it 100 and some times, or went through it with a whole bunch of different characters, and leveled every character up to max, and leveled and saw the difference in RNG values for every character and things like that, you could maybe start to understand the mechanics a little bit more. But the thing you need to understand most about the Shining Force games that I've realized is the enemies, and what the enemies are capable of doing, both damage-wise, how much HP they have, what their mobility is, and everything else. Once you start to understand how the enemies work and stuff, they tend to be a lot easier to take care of. The only problem with Shining Force is it likes to throw a whole bunch of new enemies at you and completely get rid of the enemies that you used to fight prior. So it's kind of like, let's fight all these enemies for 2-3 fights in a row. Now those guys are gone. Now we're fighting completely new enemies, and you have to learn what they do. So you have to progress through a battle, and it's kind of like trial and error. And like, oh, this fucking thing has a laser that I didn't know about that could fire across the map. That's cool. Well, too bad that I'm dead in one hit. So, again, very, very good mechanics for a tactics RPG, especially of this time. It's just, and maybe I'm maybe I needed to have my hand held in this game more than other people did. But I just feel like there's just so much in this game that you have no sight of, and it really makes it frustrating for a strategy game, in my opinion, from what I've grown up with. So I will go with the Shining Force 7 as well. Well, you know what? No, we can't do that because they did fix a lot of the crap in the game that was really annoying, like menuing and things like that. We have to at least go a little bit higher. Now, grinding. Again, I didn't really grind. I avoided grinding. I knew that there was potential to grind, but I avoided it. In fact, some of the battles, I just tried to kill the boss and cheese the fight as much as possible. So I do not think that it's required. If you really know the game mechanics and know how to abuse the system, I don't think grinding is required. However, there is a shit ton of battles in this game. A bit too many for my liking, and they're just not spread out enough to make it interesting enough for me, to keep me invested in wanting to level up my characters and things like that. I just wanted to get through the fights after a while. It just got boring for me. So I'm going to say that, yes, there was grinding in the sense that there was just way too many damn battles in this game. So I'm going to give that a 5. And remember, the lower rating is worse for the grinding rating. I know that's confusing, but... So overall, I'm going to say that this ends up being about an 8 for me. It's, you know, maybe slightly higher than what Shining Force was for me in some aspects, but really I just found that I enjoyed Shining Force more. Even with its faults, I just felt like it had more charm. Everything that Shining Force 2 improved on, there was just a bit too much that it did with other things that just made it frustrating for me. And part of this might be coming from the fact that I played the game for 24 hours straight. But at the same time, and being able to play it through like that and actually get to experience it in one shot, I noticed a lot of things that I might not have if I played it in bits and pieces at a time. And I feel like it's something that probably the speedrunners see because they go through the entire game and have to experience it all in one go. So, all in all, I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to say that they did lots of improvements and stuff like that overall, but just not enough to keep me invested. Hold on here. Alright, guys. So, it's time for you to rate. So, go ahead and grab this. If everybody could just vote for me after the votes, then we will tally them up, rate the game for you guys. Let me get my calculator ready. We'll give it about a minute or two for you guys to do that. In the meantime, I will set the raffle up. That's okay, Holden. A lot of people only saw the end of the game, so... Alright, guys. Let me tally this up now. Alright. Someone gave it a 1? That's a bit surprising to me. Maybe someone was just sharing in my frustration. Alright, what do we got here? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 13, 15. Alright, all in all, you guys voted as 6.7. So we will say this will round up to a 7 for you guys. And would I replay this? If I were to replay this, I would look up some of the speedrun strats so that I could avoid some of the stuff that I want to avoid. So I would say that, yes, I would play this again, but I would choose different characters, and I would probably have a better understanding of the game and do a little bit better. Alright, and this game was beaten 4/18/2017. And it took us how long? 32 hours. Oops, I forgot to do... Oh well. Alright. Yeah, I would never play this game again for an entire sitting like that, ever again. Alright, guys. The moment everybody's pretty much been waiting for. It is raffle time. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around. Thank you for dealing with my complaining and everything else. If you want to enter the raffle, just type in raffle now. Everyone that types raffle now has a chance to enter. They will be entered. If you win the raffle, you get to be the next person to pick the next game that we play. I can't even speak. I need to sleep. Again, everyone that was here, anyone that wants to enter, there's a very, very large list of RPGs to pick from. Plenty to pick from. Even if you're new to JRPGs and things like that, there's a really, really good chance of finding a game on there that you like. So I recommend everybody enter. Give me something to play. Nakurti didn't even enter. You guys are like all yelling at Nakurti and he didn't even enter. Alright, guys. We will give it a minute yet for everyone to enter. When did I make my Twitter name was always Crayson Kraken. Desiree. Alright, guys. 30 seconds. Anyone that hasn't entered that wants to, feel free to. And again, there's no limit to the amount of times that you can win. Alright, guys. Good luck, everybody. Let's see who wins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. There you go, Holton. GG, my friend. It's fine, Holden. You've been here for plenty of games and plenty of other streams, man. No one should feel guilty. I don't care if you just got here and didn't see any of the game whatsoever. If you're here and you want to enter the raffle and you want to pick a game, then enter. Everyone has equal opportunity. Boop, boop. Leave it to Eric to pick a game like that. Drum roll, please! Holden, you can pick the game, my friend. Whatever you decide, man, you tell me right now what game you want to play or want to see me play. It is your choice. Are we going with Blue Dragon, Holden? Alright, Blue Dragon it is. Is there a full name for the game that I'm not aware of? First time played? Yes, it will be my first time played. I've never played the game before. Alright. I think that's everything. Alright, it's just called Blue Dragon. That works for me. Alright, Holden, again, congratulations. Thanks again, everybody, for sticking around. It was a much longer stream than I expected it to be today. I hope you guys had some fun. I hope I didn't get too annoying. I hope my review answered any questions anybody had. And keep in mind, just because I didn't do extra stuff now doesn't mean that I might not come back to that type of stuff later on.